How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to SimCity 2013, and welcome back to Twain. Thank you so much for all the comments on that last episode. It was humbling, and I just it was heartwarming as well. There was a lot of people welcoming me back to the channel and YouTube, and happy to see the videos continuing. I'm glad to be back as well, and I'm excited to see what we can do with Twain here and with the other currently unnamed city in the region over there that we'll be working on eventually. But we do have more to do in Twain, and I want to get started pretty much where I left off, in that I want to talk about the name of Twain, because it's going to change. Now, there were some amazing suggestions in the comments on that last episode. A commenter by the name of Matthew actually suggested calling it Total Biscuitville. And if you don't know who Total Biscuit is and was, Total Biscuit was a gaming YouTuber. It was more than a gaming YouTuber by today's standards, though. He was a gaming critic and reviewer and analyst, and he was a lot of things. And TB was a huge inspiration to me in starting on YouTube. He was a complete audiophile and was always pushing to have his videos look and sound better and better, and that's something that I always tried to do, and I still sort of do. I have some pretty good gear to make things sound a certain way now, and I'm quite happy with it. But yeah, Total Biscuit was a huge inspiration in me starting YouTube, and so yeah, that's a really good suggestion, and I really like it. But I think naming a city Total Biscuitville will make me a little bit sad every time I look at it. But I wanted to point out that suggestion because Total Biscuit was fantastic, and I do appreciate and love seeing his name pop up in different places across the internet, even coming up on either 4 or 5 years since his passing. Another commenter by the name of Paul suggested calling Twain Bulworth, which I really like, actually. Bulworth Academy was the name of the school in Rockstar's game Bully, or Canis Canem Edit, or something like that as it was called in the UK, because it wasn't called Bully. But yeah, Bulworth, I think, is a really cool name for Twain. So Bullworth is what we'll go for. We'll go for Bulworth. I think that might have also been the name of something in, I think, Theme Hospital. I might be mistaken. I know the developer was Bullfrog. I might be thinking of something else, but I know Bulworth Academy was the name of the school in Bully. So we'll go with Bulworth. I think it's a good little name for Twain, and it's kind of fitting because this is a university, an education-focused city. And as you might have noticed, we actually have an upgrade available. We managed to get the needed 2,000 students in here, so we're going to go ahead and upgrade the university, which now means we can go in here and get another one of these additional schools. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not really oh, wait a minute. I was about to say I'm not super worried about which one we go for. I think we can get all 4 of these eventually. So we have the School of Business, which is a pretty cool looking building. I don't know if it looks too great right there, though. We have the School of Law, which isn't too bad either. The School of Medicine. I think the School of Medicine might be the way to go, or the School of Science. I'm not really too sure which one to go for. I think we'll do the School of Medicine, and I think I might put it back there. Or yeah, I'm going to put it back here for now. I know I wanted to kind of have multiple buildings across this road, but I'm going to put the School of Medicine back there for now. And that'll be pretty good for us. And then looking at this, we now need 3,000 students in classes today to upgrade it again. So we'll do that eventually. In fact, I'm thinking it probably won't take too long to do it all, because we now have 106,000 people in Bulworth, which wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to leave the city running, but I was watching the latest episode of The Mandalorian, and I forgot to hit pause on SimCity. So yeah, the population continued to grow. Thankfully, it was only at normal speed rather than 3 times speed. But yeah, that could have been a little bit rough if it was going a little bit faster there. But we're doing okay. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to be concerned about. We've managed to upgrade the university, which is great. Now, we are running into some problems. We don't have enough water at the moment, so we might need to get our hands on another hydro pumping station. Now, this is going to give us 10 kilogallons, I guess, per hour. We need 5 of these, actually. So I'm kind of thinking that a water pumping station might just be the way to go. I don't necessarily want to build one of these, but I feel like we kind of have to, so I'm wondering, can I fit it down here? I can't. Okay. Obviously, we don't want to put it up by the industry. So I think what we'll do is let's go ahead and do a little bit of dezoning. Let's just clear out sort of this bit of space. We'll take out these buildings. We'll take out that one as well. I don't love the idea of, you know, knocking the population down a little bit, but we'll do this, and that'll give us a little bit of space to build a water pumping station. Now, we are going to need room to expand this thing as well, which kind of annoyingly means that we might have to get rid of another building. In fact, I don't. I can't expand it back, but I can expand it once. So let's go ahead and build this thing. Let's go ahead and immediately, I guess, expand this thing. So a filtration pump, everyone needs water, but if your ground is polluted, you don't want to drink germs. Okay, well, the ground isn't polluted, so I think I can get away with a basic water pump, which we'll put right there. That gives us plenty of excess water, which is fantastic. And I think what I'll do is just do a little bit of zoning right about here. I don't know if anything's actually really going to build in there, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. And that will deal with all of the water problems, which is fantastic. So no one should be complaining about that. Or, well, these guys will eventually stop complaining about that. We did also have power problems, and we do still have power problems. So I think what we'll do is let's just go ahead and buy some power from Orville, because we can kind of afford it. We're making plenty of money. So that should solve all of the electricity issues that we're having. And then looking up this way, what are the numbers looking like? 0 because it doesn't have water. Okay, well, that's fair enough. That kind of makes sense. Let's go ahead and throw some research into this place just while we're here. We've done the vertical turbine already. We can't do this. We can't do that. We could do the clean coal generator. 175,000. I don't dislike the idea, but I feel like at this point of the game, we don't urgently need it. I think I'd rather have something like the surgical center for the hospital. So 160,000 for that. We'll go ahead and start the research. This guy is now operating, which means we're hopefully going to see some students come in. I don't think we're going to get the 3,000 today, but that's all right. I'm not really super worried about that. Although, looking at education, we only have about half of our students actually enrolled in education. So let's have a look here. Teaching 800 students. The classrooms are full at the high school. So what I think we could do is modify this guy. And if we wanted to, we could throw a gymnasium in here. I don't know what this actually does. It raises medium wealth land value. It has a capacity of 500. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. It's not something I think we urgently need, but it's kind of cool. What we can do, though, is just spend $17,000 to add another 1,000 students to the high school, which is pretty cool. And we can kind of just stack this. And honestly, I'm kind of inclined to just do that. So now we have a capacity of 4,800 students at the high school, which means the complaint about this place being full will hopefully go away. So that should mean that we get a lot more high school educated Sims in here. And then looking at grade schools, we have one over here. It taught 150 students yesterday, so it got maxed out. Do we have another grade school? I don't think we actually do, so we might want to expand the grade school as well. The problem with doing that, though, is that we do have a pretty dense building behind it, so I'm hoping I can do... okay, this isn't necessarily going to work how I wanted it to, but I think we'll go ahead and do this, and we're going to have to do this, and then we'll just sort of build on top of those the way that we do. And then buses are 3,000 each. I do think some buses would be a good idea as well, even if I can't afford them right now. We're actually spending a lot more money than I realized, but I think we'll manage. At least I'm hoping we'll manage. That's my budget looking right now. So policing is currently 12,400. Education is nearly 10,000. That's a little bit problematic. I probably should mention, actually, I did make some modifications to both the police headquarters or police precinct and the large fire station between episodes. I added some more cells and some more cars and 2 of the detective wings to the police precinct, as well as another helipad. So we have 2 helicopters here. And then over this way, I went ahead and did similar. I added another, hazmat garage right there, and I added another helipad. So we have 2 fire helicopters as well, which I think is probably for the best. We were having some issues with fires breaking out everywhere. It does seem like there's fewer of them, although this place here keeps getting abandoned because of crime, which is, I mean, not fire related, but I think for the most part we're doing okay. These guys were abandoned because of no water. We can go ahead and, get rid of that because it's no longer an issue. Sewage treatment is a bit of an issue though, so we might want to look into that and hopefully fix that. Oh, this guy is actually on fire. Okay, well, we have helicopters for that reason. Hopefully they can deal with that. And if they can't, I'll be kind of annoyed. Although, I am kind of thinking that we might want to just sort of look into, we might want to look into changing the layout here a little bit. That's another thing I've been thinking looking at this city, is that this road here, for example, I mean, we have this one, we have this one. We probably don't need a road going straight through here. I mean, yes, it gives us direct access down to here, but honestly, I do think I could probably get rid of a few of the roads that we have around here. So I kind of want to give it a shot. I actually can't get rid of this one though, because that's going to get rid of this French police station, but I can get rid of this one and I can get rid of this one. Now there's a lot of buildings going away there, but honestly, I'm not really super worried about that. Then up here, what we can do is just put a couple of bits of zoning in there, and that should mean that traffic can flow a little bit better down there. I did actually make a change to this road as well. You might remember it used to go from here straight down to this avenue. I disconnected it because nothing was building on it anyway, and all it was doing was putting an intersection really close to a major intersection. So we've kind of sped traffic up a little bit here, which honestly, for the most part, I've said this before, but traffic flow in SimCity 2013 really isn't something you need to worry about that much. I find the simulation is pretty basic. And just in case you're not aware, this game was one of the biggest criticisms of SimCity 2013 was that it very quickly gets to a point where the game seems to just further simplify the simulation so that your Sims, instead of having a set residence and a set workplace, will kind of just go from wherever they are to the closest available job in a mechanical sense. So if your Sim has a low-level education, they will go from, say they're living, here, right? They're living at the Thomas household. They are, medium wealth, land value, density low. Let's say that they have low education, right? They will go from here to the closest available, say, commercial building, which might be this one, right? So they'll go from here to here. And then let's say that their workday ends and someone has occupied the Thomas household. Instead of going from here, from their workplace back to their home, they will go to the nearest available low wealth or medium wealth or whatever residential building, which might be this one. And that's basically what the simulation kind of does. It just goes, what is the nearest thing that will mechanically suit this sim, as opposed to what is this sim's workplace, what is their residence. That was a pretty big criticism of this game, and honestly, it still kind of is. It's one thing that you can kind of notice it if you do follow some of them. They kind of just go wherever they can, need to go mechanically. It does the job. I mean, it's a game that's now over 10 years old, so it does do the job. And City Skylines kind of does similar when you get really far into the simulation, but it holds its own a little bit longer than SimCity does. But again, City Skylines is not 10 years old yet, so, it's whatever. I'm not going to sit and compare the two games at this point. There's really no need to, but yeah, that was a criticism, and that's kind of why traffic flow is something that you can only sort so much in this game. Although we are having some actual traffic problems in and around here, so I might be an idiot for implying that it doesn't need to be carefully planned, but I mean, they'll get to where they need to go, right? Do we have emergency vehicles stuck in traffic? I think emergency vehicles do actually get around traffic in this. I might be mistaken on that, though. I mean, I can't see any ambulances or police cars stuck in traffic. There's a police car right there, but he's not trying to get anywhere, so I guess we're okay. I guess it doesn't have that City Skylines problem where they get... Oh, hold on. Here we are. Okay. Yes, it does. All right. So it doesn't. The ambulance will not get around the traffic. All right. Yeah, maybe I do need to look into traffic flow a little bit more. Okay. Let's try and figure out what we can do here. I mean, we've not got anything super complicated. It's just a bunch of grids, really, but I mean, I guess I could probably get rid of this road here, right? It's going to get rid of a fire station, but I'm not super concerned about that. So I'm going to get rid of that road, going to get rid of that fire station. And then what we can do is just put a bit of industry in there. That gives it a little bit more room to grow. And honestly, fire coverage is probably fine. We could probably do that same thing the entire way up here, to be completely honest, and just make these into rectangles rather than squares. It might not be a bad idea to do that. That way we can just sort of have a bit more industry in here. We might squeeze an extra factory or two into that space. And then in theory, we could pretend, oh my God, why are you all abandoned? What happened? Couldn't find shops or parks, couldn't find shops or parks, couldn't find shops or parks. Oh my God, these guys are not happy at all. Wow. Okay. So couldn't find shops or parks. We don't have demand for commercial zoning, although I guess you guys are pretty far away from commercial zoning. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do then. Let's go to parks. We'll go for basic parks. We'll go and give them a blacktop park. I think that can go, I'm going to say right at the end of the road there. I think it's a decent spot for it. We can maybe give them something a bit larger, like a large field with parking. I think that'll be nice, right? There's a nice field. You can go and run around in that. Honestly, one of my favorite places growing up to go and play was a field. I'm not even, you know, it seems really basic, but you give like a kid a field with some trees in it, and that can be anything they want it to be, really. That could be, I don't know, say you can play football, I guess. You could use some trees as like goalposts. You can build something in the tree. You can build a tree house if you really wanted to. I didn't ever build tree houses. I built things that were at ground level because I was always scared of building a tree house and then falling out of it, which honestly that would have been pretty me if I did do that. But yeah, I never built tree houses. I would use trees the way you would like use couches as pillars for a blanket fort. That was what I did with trees. And then I'd use like branches with leaves as like a roof, and I'd use like pallet wood and stuff like that as walls. It was really fun building stuff like that. Me and a bunch of friends would spend days building these things, and then you would build it, and then you would climb into it and be like, oh, this is really cool. And then you'd sit there and look at it and go, now what? And then as you got older, if you were me and my group of friends, at one point you think it'd be a really cool idea. It's kind of cold. It'd be a really cool idea to like build a little fire in the middle of this, put a hole in the roof so that the smoke goes up and out, and build a little fire. And we did that at a really bad time of year when the ground was really dry. And let's just say that things got a little bit out of control. We ran away, and then a fire truck came along, and the police came along, and I don't know. Well, I'm this far into the story, I guess I'm talking about it. And yeah, long story short, we were stood across the field, sort of looking at what was going on, and we had someone come up and say, were you involved in this? Did you see anything? And we're like, nope, no idea. We didn't see anything. We just saw the smoke, and we're here to watch. That was, yeah. It was about the last time we ever tried building a campfire in a forest in the middle of a field. It was a good time and a slightly terrifying time. It was terrifying initially because the smoke could be seen from quite a distance, and then it got more terrifying when, you know, the police showed up. That was yeah, it was a good time. Anyway, back to SimCity. I think I'm going to actually take out some different roads here. I'm going to take out this one, and I'm going to take out this one. So that gives us a little bit more space kind of here. And I'm thinking I might take out this one as well. That's going to get rid of a lot of factories, but honestly, that's okay. And then the next thing I want to do is kind of take out this road and just extend that avenue right up to the top here. I think that might be a good idea. That is going to really hit the population pretty hard, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run just to get traffic a little bit of a better flow through here. So what we'll do is go from here straight up like that, basically. And that seems pretty good. So let's go ahead and get some zoning back on there. In fact, it hasn't hurt the population at all because it was offices, well, it was industry and commercial, so we're pretty good there. And that'll hopefully just improve the traffic flow a little bit. That's sort of what I'm looking for. A little bit of better traffic flow. We can go ahead and bulldoze you because I want to make sure there's actually some zoning there, which it kind of doesn't look like there is. Yeah, for some reason, no zoning right there. Why is there? There we go. So now we've got zoning. We've got a little bit more space for things to build. We might get an extra factory or two. Traffic flow is hopefully going to be a little bit better as well, which is sort of the other thing that we're looking for. And I guess we'll just see what traffic does, right? That's kind of the goal here. I mean, looking at all of this, it is very tempting, I will say, to kind of punch some roads through here. And I don't think I'm going to do down here because that intersection's pretty close. But I think what we will do is we'll go ahead and bring a road sort of straight through like that. I think we can get away with that. It's not going to damage the population, but it is going to give traffic a little bit more access to this avenue. We can see that traffic is pretty bad trying to get to this avenue, so we'll see how that goes for us. Traffic is pretty bad up here as well, which is a bit odd. Oh, there's actually, yeah, there's technically an intersection there. I was wondering why it was split into two sections, but yeah, traffic's not too great around here. It's not too great coming down here either. And it does look like a lot of it is trying to get into this section of town. So I guess, yeah, you know that part of the video where I was like, traffic simulations and traffic flow doesn't really matter in SimCity 2013? I might have been mistaken. I might have been wrong in my little assertion that traffic flow didn't really matter in this game, because looking at it, there's a lot of emergency vehicles getting stuck in traffic. I might want to do something about that. Oh, now this is interesting. The garbage dump is almost full, which is obviously kind of a concern. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a garbage, I guess a garbage atomizer is sort of the way to go here, right? This thing will use superheated plasma to resolve the quantum uncertainty, confirming that no, the garbage is not there. Interesting. Okay, well, let's grab another one of those. A little bit expensive, and we are losing money right now, but I think the reason we're losing money right now is we do have a lot of industry that's upgrading, and we do have some residential places that are upgrading as well. So once they're done upgrading, we should be okay. Now, a little something I was thinking of doing with Bulworth here was actually going ahead and potentially, just potentially, also am I buying control night from everybody? I am. Just potentially looking into maybe just a little bit of Omega Co. Now, I don't remember if I had said that we were never going to do Omega Co in this city, but I'm kind of thinking it wouldn't be a bad idea because we do have a decent amount of industry. We don't have a huge amount of industry, but we have a little bit. And I think just using Omega Co for this place would be a way to get a little bit of extra money. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to go for the Omega Co route. Now, this is going to be $100, 100 simoleons per hour. It's 30,000 up front. And I mean, we can build it right there. I'm going to be honest. I think it's kind of it's a bit of a no-brainer. So we're going to build the Omega Co factory. I'm going to not take any loans right now. What does this need? This needs crude oil and this needs raw ore. I forgot that we have to import those things. I forgot that might actually make things worse. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. I might have gotten slightly carried away here. Let's turn off the high school so that we're actually making some money. And this guy. So you are, local deliveries are on. Okay. So that's fine. But I'm pretty sure we're going to need a trade depot because we need to import the materials needed for Omega Co. Now, looking at mining, we don't have coal under the city and we don't have oil under the city. So we are actually going to have to import this stuff. Oh boy. Okay. That's fine. I guess we can have local deliveries on for both of those. This guy is going to have nothing right now. How much is it for the trade depot? It's 10,000. Okay. Where can I put this that it's not going to completely cause me to go back into the red? I mean, I can get rid of some industry. I guess here is probably a good spot because that place isn't built yet. So that'll be fine. And then what we can do is modify this. And we have, what is that the generic? That's just a freight shipping warehouse. Okay. So we need, what do we need? What is it? It's oil, crude oil, and raw ore. Okay. So the raw ore storage lot is 2,000. And then the crude oil storage lot is there. And then what we want to do with this guy, manage deliveries. We want to import. And we've kind of got nothing to export, really, other than freight. Oh, man, I might be making a really big mistake here. This might be a terrible idea. I am going to take a bond, though, just to make sure that we don't immediately go bankrupt as soon as we start importing things. But as soon as we start importing things, we should then start making Omega, and we should start then, you know, pumping that out to the warehouses and the factories. So I think we'll be okay. There we go. We've just, I think we just imported, yeah. We've got some imported oil. We've got some imported ore. And then this guy's going to use those locally. We got a truck coming out. We got a truck coming in. Okay. So do we need to get another truck? So let me see here. Freight truck garage. Add a freight truck garage to increase the rate at which you can send resources. Ah, yes. Okay. So give me 2 of those. Right. So there's one that's going to be taking the ore. And it's going to be delivering it to Omega Co. And this guy is now producing Omega. Which is good. So now that you're producing Omega, hopefully we can start to see some of these businesses adopt Omega and then start making more money and everything will be good, right? That's sort of the idea here. Whether or not it works out exactly how I want it to is yet to be seen. There we go. So Omega Co progress. We've got this one at the very least. So yeah, that should work out. I'm pretty sure we're making enough money now that I can go and turn the high school back on. And yeah, 1,613 simoleons per hour. I guess that's because all the factories have actually upgraded. Now, their tech level is actually still pretty low, which is interesting. They do have enough workers, though, which is good. It is kind of concerning, though, that the tech level is that low, because we are an education-focused city, right? We have, you know, the university over here, which is not ready to upgrade, but you would kind of think that maybe we would have higher tech industry. I might need to go in here and build a, what do you call it? Where is it? Education is here. We might need to build ourselves a community college to increase the tech level of the industry, but we'll figure that out. Now, in terms of power, we are having some issues. We don't have enough of it. So let me just buy power from the region. Again, I know that's kind of silly to do, but we'll do it for now. Water is at a deficit again. That's actually kind of concerning. Okay. And sewage is having a major problem as well. Okay. So all of the basics essentially are crippled right now. We're crippling all of our infrastructure by just rapidly expanding the population. We're up to 194,000 Sims in Bulworth, which I hadn't realized. That's the first time I've looked down towards the population panel in a hot minute. But honestly, looking out over the city, it's kind of obvious why. We have a lot of apartment buildings now, which is ridiculous. So no wonder we are crippling our infrastructure. Also slightly concerning is the fact that these guys keep rebuilding. I kind of wish they wouldn't. I'm going to be honest. Ooh, now hold on a second. Plus 2,000 simoleons per hour in franchise profits. Don't mind if I do. Do not mind if I do. How's Omega Co looking down here? 3,560? Not bad. That is not bad at all, actually. If we can convert a bunch of these major factories into Omega Co factories, we will be making serious money. Oh god, zombies have escaped quarantine again. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this might be a problem. We also have too many deaths happening, which is, that might make sense. I'm wondering how my healthcare's, doing. 5 deaths per day. We're still not treating everybody, which I would assume is probably traffic related, if I had to guess. Where the hell are the zombies? Oh man, that's really bad. I don't remember how I found them the last time this happened, but, oh man, this might be a bit rough. Let me go ahead and bulldoze these buildings, since they're abandoned anyway. Where? I don't see them. I don't see any zombies. I think, if I remember right, the last time we had a zombie outbreak, I didn't actually see them until the population had dropped considerably, which, by the way, it's up to 225,000 Sims right now. So traffic being kind of bad is, it makes a bit of sense. Honestly, it might not be a bad idea to throw in some buses. We have a 45-minute average wait right now, which is pretty bad. So throwing some of our own buses into the mix might not be a terrible idea in the slightest. So I don't really know where I want to put this. I was kind of hoping to not build too much within the university grounds, so I'm going to try and maintain that idea. I could build it here, which honestly wouldn't be a bad spot. It's going to get rid of one little house, but that's honestly not too bad. And we have 3 shuttle buses. I'd like more. These things are 7,000 each though, so it might be a little bit pricey to get a bunch of these. But I do think having a good number of shuttle buses, and we can get more of them once we get the money, I do think that's going to help us out. And I'm broke. Interesting. Okay, let me take another bond, because I'm not 100% sure why I'm as broke as I am right now. Oh, not enough Omega. That will do it. Okay, we might need to... Oh, that's rough. We might... Can we import Omega? Is that something we can do? If I go to here, incoming Omega... I think what no, actually, I think Omega was one of those things you can only volunteer. If I remember right, we might need to increase the number of production lines. That might be option number 1 on the Omega Co thing there. Or we need to import more ore and oil, but we'll see about that. Where are the zombies? I still have no idea. Devoured by zombies. Yeah, that will do it. Okay. So we have zombies sort of down and around here. Apparently. Oh yeah, there they are. There they are. Oh my god. What are you doing? He's looking for brains. Oh god. Oh yeah, they are definitely eating people. All right. I have a feeling that the police are going to struggle to get through the traffic to deal with the zombies. That's kind of what I think's going on there. Devoured by zombies. Oh no, they're not over here as well, are they? Oh god, we've got multiple outbreaks. Oh, that's a problem. Oh, it's daytime now, so the zombies are... I forgot that they do die in daylight. Okay. Well, honestly, that wasn't too bad. The population dropped by what, 12,000? I mean, 12,000 people getting eaten by zombies in a single night. Don't get me wrong. That's, it's not ideal, but all things considered, it could have been much worse. And I think that's the important thing to remember when you are in the midst of or the aftermath of a zombie outbreak. The important thing to remember is it could have been worse. It's only 12,000 zombies. It could have been 120,000 zombies. It could have been 1 million zombies, but it wasn't. It was only 12,000. Now, another problem that we're actually running into, and it is traffic related, is the fact that the coal delivery trucks are struggling to get into Bulworth to deliver coal to the coal power plant, which means that we're not generating enough power to power Bulworth. That's kind of a major issue. And what I'm almost considering doing is getting rid of these connections down here and just allowing traffic to sort of flow in like crazy. And it's almost tempting to get rid of this connection as well, because there's a lot of traffic. I didn't want to talk to that guy. There's a lot of traffic that's just backing up over that bridge and that is not getting in here. We have a coal delivery truck down here. It's way out there. The coal supply is critically low right now. And as a result, we're going to have a lot of abandoned buildings. And that includes some industries that are going to be providing a good amount of money. So, yeah, we might want to do something about this. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that little road. And that's going to let a lot of this traffic just sort of flow around that corner. Which is good. And it looks like it's sort of, filtering through a little bit better than it was. Which is absolutely fantastic. So that's a good start. Too much crime. Too many deaths. Too much crime. What have we got here? Too many deaths. Not enough Omega. Too many deaths. Oh man, it's a bit rough. We've definitely run into I think what the issue, to be honest, what the issue is with Bulworth right now is that the population has exploded. It has doubled. It's kind of wild, is what it is. So I think that's where some of the issues are coming from. Now, the good news is we now have some coal. So we're now powering the city, which means that hopefully this guy can produce a good amount of Omega. And hopefully that means that these guys can all get upgraded and start, using Omega Co. to give me an absolute mountain of cash. Because I would really like to pay off the 2 bonds that I have right now. And we're struggling to do that. I would also really like to turn the high school back on because it is currently switched off. I think, honestly, I feel pretty confident in the idea that the issues we're having are just largely because of a ballooning population that got way out of, way out of control. I would also hazard a guess that it might not be a terrible idea to just change up a little bit of the way I'm doing these roads here. So what I'm kind of thinking is that maybe we could offset these roads. So we can move this one, for example, down to like here. And that way, all the traffic coming in this way is either going right or straight on. All these guys would have to sort of, weave around a little bit. I'm just going to try it because I think it might help us out. I could, if I wanted to, just not bother adding another road connection. And then we just have this avenue down here, which might be a bit of a problem, but I guess we'll sort of just look at this and see what happens. I could probably get rid of this road as well, in all honesty. What is this building? It's just it's just a commercial building. I think that's that and like 2 residential ones are the only ones that we got rid of here. So I'm going to do that. And that's going to sort of force traffic up and around a little bit. I don't think that's going to help us out in the long term. And yeah, we're now having major budget problems because a lot of these guys are either abandoned or upgrading again. This is where Omega Co becomes a bit of a problem, isn't it? Oh man, I might have to go to one of the other cities and send myself a whole bunch of cash again. That's seeming very likely. That's kind of looking like what I'm going to have to do here, unless these guys build quickly, which I'm doubting. I'm not seeing this getting constructed super quickly right now. Oh, no. Oh, God. Okay, that one has combined into another one. All right. Yeah, that's not good. And the high school is also still switched off, so we're at negative 3,500 with the high school turned off. That's really bad. That is really, really bad. I don't like that at all. Negative 2,500, well, 2,250. That's fair enough. These guys have at least got built. What are you looking at? 44%, 0%, 50%. Oh, we're about to actually go broke. All right, we need to take another loan. I don't like having to do this, but I refuse to run out of money right now. I refuse to do that. In fact, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have to send some money. So we're here in Orville. We'll go to the region view and we'll go ahead and just click on Bulworth. And I can't remember how to actually gift money for the life of me. I think it's gift, isn't it? Yeah. So Orville to Bulworth, we're going to just send, I don't know, we're going to send a lot of money. To be quite honest, we'll send like $500,000. I think that'll be pretty good. So there we go. 500,000 Somalians going over to Bulworth just to bail it out. And honestly, 300,000 of that's going to go towards paying off those bonds. So let's go ahead and send another 300,000 because I can. And let's get back to Bulworth. So now in Bulworth, we have just about 900,000 Somalians. Let's get rid of some abandoned buildings because we don't want to be keeping those. Let's go and pay off all of the bonds just so that we're not paying out, you know, more than we need to be. We still have 600,000, which is beautiful. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to edit this Omega Co factory. We could put a drone assembly line on here, but I don't think I want to do that. That seems like it would be a bad idea. We could do a global market VTOL pad though. Receive global market resource deliveries by VTOL aircraft. VTOLs don't get stuck in traffic and they look intense. Save the expenses of trade depots or ports with a global market VTOL pad. So I think these would be a worthwhile investment. It means that we can get resources directly without needing to use a trade depot. So we can get rid of this, which is going to save us a little bit of money. We can go ahead and put some industrial zoning in there, which is going to give us another building, which is great. We can also probably go ahead and do another Omega production line. And so in theory, we will now be producing enough Omega to, in theory, give us a whole bunch of money. That's the goal anyway. So we're now going to be accepting these deliveries globally. And so we shouldn't really run into issues where we don't have enough Omega, which is good. That's what we're looking for. So hopefully that's going to help us out. We are running into issues again because we don't have enough coal. And looking here, I mean, the trucks are still struggling to get through for the most part by the looks of it. I mean, they're getting stuck sort of here and then it gets around and it gets to the coal plant. So we might want to look into an alternative method of powering the city. Nuclear power, for example, might not be the worst idea. I mean, educated Sims and large amounts of water. We have got educated Sims, but I don't know how I feel about potentially building a nuclear plant and, you know, running into some issues there, you know? It seems like it would be kind of dangerous, so I just don't know. This guy actually still doesn't have enough power, which is kind of a major problem. And I think the other coal truck is probably stuck in traffic, right? Yeah, stuck down here. Maybe we just go for nuclear. I mean, this guy generates 75 by default. This guy does 150 by default. Maybe we do oil. That might not be a terrible idea, to be quite honest. So let's pause for a second. Let's get rid of the coal plant. Let's let it just get demolished. We'll go and we'll do oil power, which I can fit in here, which is good. So I want to put it, honestly, I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to put it here. And then what we can do is look at this thing. We can get ourselves the combustion turbine generator. We could get the clean oil one, but honestly, it's not really needed, I don't think. So we can do that. We can probably get rid of this guy. And then we can probably do, well, I can't put any up that way, but I can do this and I can do this. And so that gives us hopefully a decent excess of power once this thing gets up and running. And I also want to accept global crude oil deliveries so that we are not going to be running out anytime soon. And so hopefully that's going to work out, right? Hopefully that's going to give us, well, actually, no, it doesn't seem like it's done anything to us. 450 megawatts per day. We still have a bit of a deficit. We are buying from the region. I don't love the fact that we apparently still have a deficit. What does this actually generate? 150 per day, 150 per day. So the only difference between these two is that one of them is clean and the other one isn't. So, interesting. Wait, I can build another one. Oh, that'll help us out, right? So now we have 134 megawatts excess. We're fine. Beautiful. Okay, so the power problems should now actually go away, which is great news. We're also at plus 10,000 simoleons per hour, so I can go ahead and turn the high school back on, which brings us down to plus 6,500, which is all right. We should see all of these buildings come back online. The power problems, or water problems rather, on the other hand, are really concerning because this guy, I mean, you don't have power, but you'll get there. This guy is generating 200 kilogallons per hour. You're doing 9.4. Honestly, I think what we might need to do here is kind of gut this little corner and just build a sort of dedicated water pumping station area. So let's give that a shot. Let's just pause the game while I do this. Get rid of you, and these other towers as well. I'm just going to get rid of that entire road as well. I don't love doing this, but I'm going to turn this sort of block into just a sort of water space, really. So we'll bring this road down as far as I can go, which is there. We'll bring it across, and we'll bring you sort of down like that. And that gives us kind of a nice space to play with. I can get rid of this road as well. I can go ahead and bring something sort of over like this. And that's a decent space. That should work out. So what we want to do is get a water pumping station, and I don't love the idea of putting it sort of in this corner, but that seems to be where all the water is right now. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and grab this and place filtration pumps. No, we don't need that. They're just, you know, filtering the water and keeping it clean, but the water down here is already clean. So what we'll do is build this guy. We'll go ahead and build another one. I don't know if I should build it in these spots or not. I think there is pretty good. And I think there is pretty good. So that now gives us a nice excess of water. And then what we can do is go ahead and get ourselves a road, because we're not necessarily going to be expanding this thing again. Although, maybe I should. Maybe just expanding this thing a little bit like this and a little bit like this, even if they're not super efficient. That might be a good idea because it's now completely maxed out. We have a massive excess of water. And now what I can do is get myself a road that just goes something like that if it's going to let me, which I don't think it's gonna for some reason. Not really sure why it doesn't want to let me do that. I would, you know, really like that to be just a little grid or something, but too close to existing intersection apparently. Not really sure how it's figuring that one out, but apparently it is. Is it really? Oh, that works. Okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but that'll do. And then what we can do in this space is a bit of commercial in there, clear you out, and just put residential in there. So that'll give us some of that population back. It'll give us some of the commercial stuff back. It does deal with the water problems. We can clear zoning in here completely. And if I wanted to, I could probably go ahead and put a water tower, yeah, in that corner. I don't want to, but I could. So now the water problems are sorted out. The only thing we have to worry about is sewage, which we have a little bit of excess because we are currently selling sewage to Orville. Although we're almost maxing that out, which is a bit of a worry, but I think we'll manage. These guys are complaining about not having enough Omega. That's a little bit worrying. I'm going to be honest. I don't love that they're complaining about that. I would imagine the Omega trucks are probably getting stuck in traffic, if anything, though. So, I mean, drone assembly lines, produce drones from processors. Drones will fly to houses to become buy drones for shoppers. What the hell just... Did something just explode? Wait. What the what? That was really loud. I don't know what that was, but okay. Yeah, we might actually need to look into getting drones, I guess. That might be something we have to worry about. Oh wow, sewage is actually getting really, really bad. Fire is also apparently complaining. Hazmat fires destroying city. What? Hold on a minute. What? How are hazmat fires destroying cities? We don't have any hazmat fires that I'm aware of. I feel like I would know about those, but okay. I guess hazmat fires are destroying the city. Okay, I do think, yeah, we need to be producing more. I do think drones might be something to consider, but I'm not going to do it just yet. What I will do is another Omega production line, and we'll hope that that gives us enough Omega to go out to all the businesses so that they won't abandon. And if it doesn't, then yeah, we might need a trade port or trade depot, and we might need to import some processors, and we might need to build some drones. Although, isn't Orville making drones? I wonder if I could import them. I wonder if that's something we could do if I was to go and like trade or something like that. I don't know if it's actually something I can do, but it would be really interesting if I could, you know, go to like freight or something like that, or go to I don't think I can. I don't think I can import drones, but it would be very cool if I could. Same with processors. We might just have to import them globally, and that might just be the way of it, but it would be really cool if we could import them in a sort of more interesting way. I have my doubts, but it would be really cool. Anyway, I think we're probably good to go ahead and leave it there for today. We managed to upgrade the university, and it is ready to upgrade again, which is fantastic news. So we've managed to get this thing upgraded a good few times. We can go ahead and put a new building on that in a second. We've got some Omega code going. We're having some issues there. We're having some money problems, but the population has ballooned to an extreme. We've got, you know, almost 250,000 people in Bullworth, and that's without a mega tower. So not really complaining at all. Let's go ahead and just select another little something we can put on here. And I think what we'll do is just go for this guy. I think that looks pretty good. So that's a good old School of Law. And that leaves us one more upgrade. We need 4,500 students. We can go ahead and, I guess, start researching things as well. We'll go and get ourselves, I suppose, well, probably nothing, because I don't know if I can afford it. Clean oil generator. Let's go for that and see if we can unlock that in the near future. Also, just as a note, I forgot to mention this. I did read a bunch of comments about the great works in the region, and it seems like a lot of you want the arcology. And what this will do is provide workers, shoppers, and students. It will require a lot of metal, a lot of alloy, and 60,000 crates of TVs. It might not be a bad idea. Honestly, I don't think I've ever built the arcology. I think I did once build the international airport, but I really can't remember. I think I've also built a space center once. I don't think I have ever built the arcology. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The game came out 10 years ago, and I haven't played it prior to this series for a number of years, so I might be misremembering. There is definitely a chance that I am misremembering my adventures with SimCity 2013. Either way, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.